listeners. You may notice that I did not say YouTube then this time, and that's because I'm not actually doing this just on YouTube anymore. I decided that I was going to take the audio for any of these videos that I've done so far. The episodes are pretty, solid from beginning to end, and they really don't need the video exactly to go along with them. So I decided to start releasing this as a podcast too. So you can now go on to Spotify and you can find this exact video, but in audio format, as well as the other two that I've already done. So yeah, I'm gonna start off by saying one really good thing here is that I'm going off script now. I learned a couple of things from the first couple of videos that I did. First of all, I learned that the mic that I had, you'll notice the mic isn't here anymore because that mic, well, it wasn't great. The mic in this laptop actually works better. So, I'm going to just continue doing it this way for a little while. The other thing is that I kind of learned that when I'm doing everything completely on script like that, it just doesn't sound very natural. It sounds like I'm reading from a script. So I decided I'm going to do this one today without scripting it. All I did was wrote down a couple of notes that I'm just kind of using to keep myself on track. Upcoming episodes, that's how I'm going to try to do this. And, in speaking of things that are upcoming episodes, one of these episodes I'm going to be doing soon, I'm going to be bringing a friend of mine on, and I'm going to talk to him about his experience with writing his book and let him do a reading from his also. I'm figuring maybe some cross promotion is probably a good idea for this channel, and it'll help him too. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be happening soon. So speaking of what I'm going to be doing today, I look back on that last video that I did, and it was angry, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I write a lot. I think I do a lot of the writing that I do, certainly when I'm trying to rant about things that are upsetting to me. I need to kind of keep that stuff just written down and not be blurting that out to everybody, because I think I kind of do that sort of thing mostly to just get it out of my head. If somebody wants to read it and go, hey, this guy, he gets it, great. That's wonderful. But I don't necessarily think that it's the most entertaining thing in the world to, blurt that out to everybody on the internet. It just starts to sound like I'm a much more angry person than I really am. So keeping that in mind, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really only try to find things that are a little bit more lighthearted. And this is a good segue into telling you what my next project is going to be. I have another website that I did years ago. It was prior to COVID, probably started in 2017. It was all just news satire. And there's a lot of funny stories in there. There's probably well over 100 of them. So I'm compiling all of that into another book. And part of what's making me think of doing this right now is that I can't say the words out loud, because if I actually say the name of the game that's coming up, they're probably going to give me a copyright strike. So there's a big football game coming up this weekend. And I wrote a couple of things. There was two different readings that I'm actually going to do from what I'm compiling into that book, because they are both related to football and they're both pretty funny. So I'm going to depart from reading out of Echoes of Isolation this time, and I'm going to do a video where I'm reading from my new book that I'm actually still preparing for publication. So I don't really even have a book to read from. I'm going to have to read it off my screen here. I hope you enjoy. Here is my first reading from my new book, which will be titled Totally Fake News here, because the news is in fact fake. The site was actually made to look like it was a news site, even though it was really just news satire. And here's one of the stories that I did that is titled, The NFL is Ready to Start Disappointing Fans This Week. This was written on Monday, September 3rd, 2018. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The wait is almost over. The long nightmare of the offseason is finally ending. The 99th NFL football season kicks off at 8:20 p.m. on September 6th in Philadelphia, the very same city that proved once and for all that Tom Brady is a sore loser. Will be host to the first game of the season. Millions and millions of fans have got their buffalo wings and their foam fingers and their cheap beer and their chips and their favorite player's jersey, all the things necessary for the start of a new season. One thing is for sure, no matter what it is about the NFL that gets you excited, you will be disappointed. Your team is going to get made fun of, the refs are going to make bad calls, your favorite player is going to get injured and screw up your football pool, The head coach from your favorite team is going to make bonehead decisions. Tom Brady is going to continue to win games in the fourth quarter, whether you think they deserve it or not. No matter how hard you pray and stick to your superstitions, your team is going to lose at least one game, probably way more than that. You're going to get ridiculed by your friends because you suck at fantasy football. You're going to miss the biggest game of the year because your mother-in-law had her 90th birthday party that day. Then you're going to lose more money than you can afford on that game that was a sure thing. And then you're going to get beaten up by your bookie because you can't settle up. There's going to be new rules in place where certain types of tackles or blocks are not allowed, and there'll be cases when a player has clearly caught the ball but for some obscure rule says that it was not a catch. With all the things that can go right this season, history has shown the world it pretty much never happens. As Tom Brady once learned, you can have a perfect season and then lose the Super Bowl to Eli Manning. Of course, the biggest question in this upcoming game is going to be who the starting quarterback is going to be. And here at TFN, we have done the research and we have found out the inside information. We have determined without question that Matt Ryan is going to be starting for the Falcons. You're welcome. One final note. Sorry for picking on Tom Brady. No, I'm not. Screw that guy. I'm still a little pissed at him because he got injured in the first play of the game and hosed my fantasy football for an entire year. I'm sorry. I'm actually laughing while I'm doing the reading for this. I'm jumping forward 1 year right now to August 5th, 2019, and this is what I wrote about the beginning of that football season. Football 2019 is on. Takes place in Philadelphia, because of course it is. I'm an Eagles fan, so, you're going to get that. Preseason NFL has started. Woohoo! To all of you reading this that are not in America, this is American rules football, not soccer. And it's this time of year that all football fans are getting ready to root their team on. All the teams have rabid fans that are absolutely sure that this year is going to be the year. This is it. But let's face it, folks, unless you're a Patriots fan, can't really have that much faith in your team's going to make it. And by the way, that's not a compliment to the Patriots. I should insert here that back in 2019, that was relevant. Today, if I were to write this, I'd be saying it was Kansas City. Anyway, continuing through the season, it's more likely that you're going to start to feel a little let down. By the beginning of November, you're going to start to notice that those early losses are keeping your team from having any chance in the playoffs. But there's still a chance, right? Near the end of December, you're going to be totally broken and resigned to rooting for whatever team is in the playoffs that you don't completely loathe. This is the point that most people are saying, so who's going to play the Patriots this year? Again, that's not a compliment. Screw those guys. I would have continued this story and showing a picture of the plant that I've been showing this entire way through, dead and wilted. But here's the thing. That plant is still alive. It has a lot of grandchildren. So like your favorite team, it's going to be back next year. So just go back up to the top of the story if you want to see what the plant looks like when it's still confident. It should be noted here that if you're listening to this and not watching the video for it, you're really missing the gem of the whole thing is that I have a small succulent plant outside in a pot that decided to raise its fist 1 year in defiance. And I have 3 different pictures that go in order as I'm reading through this, as the arm goes from being raised in defiance to drooping down and just uselessly laying limp next to the plant. The visual works a lot better than my describing it. All right, well, that concludes my reading for today. I hope you've enjoyed episode 3 of reading from this thing, even though I, in fact, did not read from Echoes of Isolation. I read from a book that isn't even published yet. But that's okay, because I'm going to leave a link for that website if you wanted to follow up on all that stuff in the description below, as well as links to download the book that I actually do have published and would still like you to read. I managed to do this entire video without having any anger. That's a good thing. I feel good about that. Sorry for making fun of the Patriots so much, but I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a sports fan in general. And it was, I think we probably already had our revenge when the Eagles kind of, beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl that one time after 50 some odd years of not winning a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'm really not going to apologize much more for making fun of the Patriots. So be it. Anyway, if you've liked what you've seen here and you'd like to see more, please press the subscribe button down below. Tell your friends about it, and I hope you come back for the next episode. Thank you very much.